6:30 up till now at the top of the hour, 8 a.m. But of course, we do remind you it is Christmas times. We're hoping that you're enjoying yourselves, and of course, the festive season is one of those times that bring joy and happiness, merrymaking, forgiveness, finding fondness, and of course, creating new melodies in our hearts as we do await and celebrate the birth of the Son of God, that is Jesus Christ. Now, today, still about the same area of religion, faith, and beliefs. We choose to discuss something quite important that nevertheless has been a reserve of the academias and the intellectuals, but we want to bring it also to the knowledges of our viewers to see what you think and what your contribution would be. And we will be discussing a topic quite interesting, and that would be deepening religious freedoms and celebrating our diversity, with a major focus on Uganda. Want to look at religious freedoms, nevertheless also the diversity that comes with the beliefs that we have subscribed to over time. But there is no better choice I would get to discuss this topic with than my man himself, and of course a man who's well celebrated in terms of international relations and quite cognizant of what happens both in Uganda and internationally, and they would give us a good comparison into such a topic, and that is the Peace Global Ambassador, Milton Kambura. My brother, good morning.
Oh, wonderful to host me today, and I thank the viewers. Uganda is a nation blessed by nature, blessed. Absolutely. Everything is beautiful here. I can't say much, but to really thank God for seeing us here at the center.
Right place.
Yeah, you know, there is no any other place like Uganda.
There's no better place would be than being in Uganda.
It's the best land. I think the promised land, I think, is in Uganda. So thank you, brother, for hosting.
I love that. I love that. I love the fact that people like Kambura are proud to be Ugandans, with due regard to whatever happens, but he is a proud Ugandan. Let's talk about this whole thing of religion, diversity, and maybe just to give it shape. What is, when we talk about faith-based religion, what are we talking about?
Wow, thank you. Our viewers, of course, you know, you're one of our scholars in this country, but for the benefit of the country and the globe, of course, I thank our networks of thousands of people that we have communicated with, our network around the globe. Thank you for tuning in UBC TV, the national broadcaster of the Republic of Uganda. And I thank the management that has built this strong and vibrant infrastructure, I think the best in East Africa. When you say religion, you are talking about a set of beliefs, a set of systems that influence people's spirituality. And then it is not just a one-day event. These are highly tested values that have grown into cultural beliefs. Like if I say God is present everywhere, God is big, God is everywhere. You know, these are beliefs, and they are spiritual in nature. Okay. So groups of societies have over time metamorphosized themselves into the belief that I think millions of years ago there could have been a God who created the earth, Absolutely. Who created all of us, and he controls everything today and forever. Those are the dimensions.
Perfectly. And Milton, having given us that background in relation to what religion would be, or faith-based religion for that matter, we now want to dive into the concrete discussion of religious freedoms. Having looked at this being as a culture, as a practice, a subscription of particular people, now, where does it then get the leverage to become a freedom, a right, for that matter, if I may borrow that word, to be that it has what we call conglomerate binding, and not just as a gift of an individual state.
Wow. And I have to tell the country that the United Nations, Uganda is part of that framework, and in their wisdom, of course, you remember the First World War, Second World War, we have had religious wars all over the world.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And the United Nations, in their wisdom, they felt this should be part of their human rights covenants. I mean, things that each country in the world must provide to its people. I don't mean provide because it's God who gives this right. So they just wanted people, to enjoy their space to worship the God of their choice. And when I say God of their choice, I mean different religions understand God differently. He may be one God, but look, the Bakonzo called him Nyamuhanga. The Batoro called him Rotoro, is there listening to us, Ruhanga. The Nyankore called him. So each tribe takes privilege to worship their God, to worship God in the way they want. Others kneel down, others jump in the air, others close their eyes,
others clap their hands.
Exactly. So people let the people enjoy their freedom to worship their God. And so it became part of the human rights and freedoms. When it comes to Uganda in particular, because the discussion is in Uganda, our viewers, I must let you know that not all countries have this freedom, however. We have countries, of course, I must say that one religion is practiced and a country is called
against
maybe
all the others.
Exactly. And you find names like the Islamic Republic of Iran. So it means that republic belongs to the Muslims only. So for you are participating, but under the carpet. So for the case of Uganda, of course you remember Idi Amin almost made this country the Republic of the Islamic Republic of Uganda, and the Ugandans opposed him, and I can't dive into that, but the historians, and our elders. But His Excellency the President, I must thank you today, sir. Yes, I've been kind of pushing you a little, but today I want to really award you with a message of appreciation and say, Your Excellency, under your NRM regime and leadership, you have given an open check to all of us Ugandans. Beyond the boundaries of our districts, you have said to Ugandans, enough was enough. Today, every Ugandan must constitutionally, without boundary, enjoy his right to worship the God of their own. Even those who worship trees, they are worshiping. Those who go to so this country. But I will now dive into that constitutional binding. The Parliament of Uganda, I also thank you that you were able, with your wisdom, to tamper with other things, but you have never tampered with the freedom of worship. And I thank the Interreligious Council because they had to use that space, that constitutional binding, to establish the Interreligious Council of Uganda. So, and I thank you for the work of all religious leaders coming together to harness the constitutional mandate to expand peace in the country.
Speaking about religious freedoms, Milton, here, this is where now I want to juggle in something that we can relate with diversity in terms of practices of religion. We want also to understand what the government has done is good. Now we can practice religion. But we must form a relationship between development and religious freedoms. Is there a relationship directly or indirectly where we see that there is what we call, because this is in place as a good freedom offered into the legalese of the country, now we have this.
The problem is that too much of everything in the context of the ignorance of different people is poisonous. So you find someone is told, take medicine, Panadol, one maybe in the morning, one in the evening. Then the guy say, now the headache is too much. Let me take 5 headaches so that but the doctor knew and knows. So now religion has been misused that right, that constitutional right, your spiritual right to enjoy your freedom to worship God. Many people have misused it. You remember Chiwetere, the man in the history of the whole world as an individual, to have killed the biggest number of people, in a small time framework. He was a Ugandan. Chiwetel Joseph used religion, the Catholic Church, to be specific, and misguided the people that indeed they are traveling to heaven without a passport and a visa, and that prosperity will be upon their families. So it was misguided religion to kill people, innocent people, who would have become very positive energy to the transformation of the country. And look, some people have misused the religion as an opium for radicalization and violent extremism, and ends up mobilizing the unemployed youth, the frustrated people, and people who are hopeless. You know, they have no hope for jobs, they are stressed, and then they use religion to actually attack another group. And look, the religion divide our people. You know, we are looking at group A versus group B. But the context upon which religious freedoms were enacted and passed as a law was in the wisdom that religions must unite people, not dividing them. That is where my problem is. And so we find Al-Qaeda, you know, the ISIS, now we have ADF. Some of you who have smartphones, you could have seen and heard those videos and those, you know, how young people are saying, Allahu Akbar, we will kill them, those haramus, those, let us attack Uganda. And they are from Uganda, they are killing their own brothers. So look, gentlemen, women listening to us today, time has come for us to transcend the common knowledge and develop what we call interfaith leadership, and understand that regardless of religion, regardless of political parties, regardless of where we come from, our economic status, gender, we are all one family under God. The Creator is one supreme God. And Adam and Eve represents our grandparents. And so when you kill, when you hurt, you have actually hurted and killed your own brother and sister. Indeed. That's where it begins. And then everything settles down. Okay. Yes, that's where it settles down. So religion is just like Arsenal. It's like Man U. I don't know which Chelsea. Which club you support? Oh, you got a friend.
Absolutely. Oh, I love Express.
Express.
I love it with a passion.
Wow.
It's been my team since childhood.
Wow, Express. Yes, me, I'm for Villa because Villa nurtured me. But look, what we are trying to express here is that, yes, these clubs are there to nurture our talents. And for us to become champions and global, you know, stakeholders, you know, who win, you know, trophies, somehow, somewhere we must come from these clubs so that we can sell globally and win those medals. So, look, sports, even if someone hurts you, the referee says no, discipline. So it's fair play, the forgiveness, reconciliation. And look, after the match, you go home together.
So this is the role of diversity.
Exactly.
That even if we are different, yes, we must dwell together.
Together.
We are good together.
Yes.
That's why you have the Interreligious Council, where we have the heads of all these sitting together as a think tank to spring from religion to cause development and change in the country.
Exactly.
And when you're just submitting, Kambra, I was here thinking, I was imagining, if, let's say this country was made for Muslims, do you know how many schools the Catholic Church has?
Oh my God,
do you know how many hospitals they have?
We would have
do you know how many schools the Anglican Church has in this country? We would have
missed all those.
They have one of the best universities in Uganda. You see, the Catholics have Nkozi here. You know, also the Muslim brothers have IU.
Exactly.
So you can see the power of religious freedoms and diversity.
Exactly.
And this is a point, I think, where we must celebrate the differences. That it is good to be different, but with a purpose and a general vision.
Exactly.
And that's why I want to ask now, again, Milton, that looking at this diversity as being celebrated in Uganda, how do we keep it relevant?
That's where now even God said, you know, God created us and gave us everything. And he told us, I will not waste my time to give them names. Give them the names. Can you imagine that power, that trust God gave us?
Yes.
Then we started naming, this is a goat, this is a sheep, this is plant X. Can you imagine that power and trust? And then you are there. The hooligans are there now. They are saying, no, 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 we must use that power to steal, to enjoy our own, to destroy, to cut the trees. No, 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 no. God has given us the trust not to divide ourselves, but to use religion as a vehicle for transforming and defending what belongs to God.
Absolutely.
Now, look, this message is more of a sermon. Some people will say we are bishops.
You're a preacher.
For us, we are.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's actually a beautiful title. Some of you give it to me. And I take it in the name of God. But look, a garden with many colors is always the most. Because if it is only red color, like 100 miles, you can't even know the corners. But if a garden has yellow, blue, black, orange, and oh my God, the garden is so beautiful.
Indeed.
So unity in diversity is power.
Indeed.
Because one group may know how to maybe walk. Another group knows how to think. Another group, like we have different talents, and different religions is just like that, and different tribes. Like my tribe, I come from Kasese. They say, you people say we are short people. But when we combine with the tall people like you, then
the beauty comes out.
Oh my God, then with my small knowledge, you know, they say short people, again, they are bright.
That must be Chimira.
That must be Chimira.
No, that must be Ruben saying.
You know, God, make sure that you don't have everything, so that there is one who complements you. Just like your wife, you have a family. You know, you can't have everything. Men, we are somehow weak in some areas. But when you marry, you know, you have a wife at home. You know, sometimes you forget. Then she says, oh, sweetheart, do you know you have forgotten this? So we need each other.
Complement each other.
But the problem is here. Religion, you have taken it as a personal property. As if it belongs to you alone.
Religion to condemn others.
To condemn others. To think others are useless. You will be surprised, son of God. You will be surprised in heaven to find out that if people you have been close with, even though that man, that woman is not in heaven, you will even find other religions are also there. Because look, God did not create religions. In the Bible, tell me whether you are Catholic is there or you are Protestant. There is no one Protestant in the Bible. I have studied.
Those are creations of men.
These are vehicles we have created because we are 7 billion people.
You know, one time I was privileged to present a paper before some students somewhere away from Uganda. And in my research, I carried out and I came to learn. And this is how I see religion. I noticed that God could be the father who can name his children differently.
Exactly.
You can have a Felix, a Milton, a Robert, a Priscilla, a Molen, but they're all your children.
Exactly.
And for me, that's how I see
you are
religion.
Right. You are right.
I have a Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, Muslims, Pentecostals, they're all children of God, but they can be named differently.
Exactly.
Now, that probably, and try to think about bringing out the aspect of diversity is good. It is absolutely, as you've said, the garden of many colors looks beautiful. Now, how, again, do we tap in this diversity?
Now, that diversity means two things. Friends, my brothers and my sisters, I want you to know that any religion that does not unite a nation is a dead religion. Any religion that does not unite a nation is a dead religion.
How would you know it doesn't? Because it would be good to give us the indicators.
The indicators are here. They are telling us, for example, if you are choosing a couple to marry, choose that woman of your own religion. Where is it in the Bible? Show it to me. Where is it? A God of creation did not and has never and will never divide his own human beings. So who are you? Where do you get power to tell people that when you are transacting a business, transact it with a man and a woman of your own religion? Stupid, end it that. The curse of God is coming upon that business and you will never go anywhere.
So, and I beg for us to refocus on that.
Yes.
Because it brings out something quite good. Humanity should not be divided in terms of what you believe in. It should be bring people together.
Together and
So for any
transformation.
religion
Yes.
that divides the nation is not for God.
Should be condemned and be deleted in the books of Uganda's history. Because having such a religion will actually fail to allow Ugandans to unite towards Vision 2040. And that's where the politics, I don't know how our politics is organizing us, but the president has allowed us full scale enjoy your freedom. But then because we are blind, and the people leading religion, some of them are blind, spiritually, mentally, you know, everything. And there is no any opportunity for them to be guided. Then they say, we are the only ones who see the God. They think they are the only ones who talk to God.
So Milton, what you're saying, if you went to marry, let's say, and I don't want to use word, but a particular region and they chased you away, is it the problem with you or the other people?
It is because look, friends, look, listen carefully. Why Africa, among other things which are collapsing, religion has not collapsed? Because religion was here 5.5 million years ago. Before the white man understood himself, religion was already in Africa. And it is something that we must talk about and say, yes, we are putting on the cross. The cross was a signal in Africa to show that there is danger. So when the Israelites came in Egypt, in West Africa, they understood that cross means danger. All of these things we see in the Quran and the Bible were here 5.5 million years ago. And I'm talking with authority because the African man must understand himself again so that Africa can again become great.
Absolutely.
So the spirit, because we are the original people. Why are we original people? We are the first people on the earth. We were created. We produced the world. We created the whole world. And that power should not be misguided in terms of divisions. Why are you hating each other? Because you belong to one God. Honestly. And when you are united under one God, it means even the poverty we are talking about will go in one day.
That's very
because
true.
we will have the capacity to share. But you find one religion is packed with hundreds of miles of land. They are the ones to be on the top. They say, which religion owns the biggest chunk of land in the country? Religion X.
An unproductive land.
They have Mururu. Who told you that God brought you here to be a religious leader, to just fight for possessions? When I read on their budgets, you find evangelism is taking 10% of the millions of dollars they are getting.
And now, 90% is going to what?
Buying now, I will not stop.
Nice houses, cars.
Now,
most recently, they even have the names on their cars.
My brother.
Apostle Kambura.
Who told you came here to be in politics? Yours is God.
Bishop Milton Kambura.
That nonsense must end. God, Jesus, look at an example of Jesus.
But God loves rich people.
No, there is richness. I'm not saying we are all rich. But they are competing against the worldly satanic people. You get it?
Yes.
Theirs should not be competing. It should be delivering the mindset of people,
I like
uniting
the
them.
That you've said on their budgets, evangelism only has 10%. And the 90% goes to their lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Some of them are dying of lifestyle diseases. Who told you a religious leader, his work is comfortability?
To be smart.
To be comfortable. Posh. To be with the style of what is coming next.
To look posh.
When in your church, the churches are now impacting the society and reducing on the poverty levels of the country. Then God is using me right now in the 21st century to push a message that time has come. And indeed, God is about to come back. And He's calling us, all of us, the children of God, to unite. To unite towards one vision that we are one family under God. And to use that constitutional mandate of religious freedoms to enjoy in our diversity and serve that one true God, the creator of man and woman.
Okay.
These are theses academicians cannot understand.
Absolutely.
But who can understand this message is that person who is spiritually growing. Spiritually growing. And when you are spiritually growing, material science and achievements are just a free giveaway.
They don't make much sense.
No, you don't. Because they will even come by themselves because you are spiritually mature. What I'm talking about is now, let me bring an example. I work with Mr. Watoro. He's there right here holding our cameras. When he's from Toro, I'm from Kasese. Because I'm spiritually mature, I'll be able to ask Mr. Watoro, hey, we are late, let us go and work, so that the company doesn't collapse. Because if it collapses, our children, all of us will lose, the bosses will lose, and actually we shall lose more.
But we see
But in heaven,
today,
God will punish us because that man suffered to get his capital. And so you connect everything to God. God will punish us. Are you seeing? Then you say, Mr. Rodo, let us go early. Let us go early today. We go and work and do our work. They gave us a contract. You are not serving the boss. You are serving the God of creation, the God that gave capital to that businessman. And it is up to you to make sure that his company grows and opens branches so that more Ugandans can get jobs. That is now spiritual consciousness. It simply means, ladies and gentlemen, that time has come that, for example, in our university, it's a Muslim university, brother. And the guild presidents must be a Muslim. That nonsense must stop.
I know some universities here where they say you must be a particular...
That must... You a lawyer by profession. You a journalist by profession. For you have studied... Now, this is the time to sue those universities and allow the Muslim institutions nurture the students, the Christian leaders also grow in their own institution. Vice versa. Bishops must go to the mosque and preach the message of peace to the Muslims. The sheikhs must also go to the church and preach the word of God and call on the partnership of Christians to build the world.
But is that possible?
It is very possible. That is the program we are starting.
Do I see my most reverend Kazimba, the man I love so much, at the Old Kampala?
It will happen because religious...
Though it will be a very good thing.
It is good.
Because
yes,
we are missing so much. I think we can share so much in terms of knowledge and in terms of building this country.
Yes.
But you did touch also something quite important in terms of work, productivity. How do we use this diversity, Kambula, to improve the productivity of our flock, of our, can the country grow from this freedom? What is in return for a socio-economic growth when we want to give religious freedoms and this diversity?
Now, economy, what we call the word economy, you cannot achieve economy unless you have an organized population. An organized population, who organizes the population? People are well organized, but they must be inspired spiritually. Spiritually, when they are inspired spiritually, then they unite. Then when they are united towards one common spiritual vision, then the economics world takes on. What am I trying to mean here? Is that when you have personal consciousness of living for the sake of others, then you can share resources. That's where the economics begin. Demand and supply is not just a theory model. It's in practice, even in the spirituality realm. What I mean is that, for example, Western Uganda, for example, let me say, it is the richest region in Uganda. It is the one with minerals. It is the one. Then another part of the country is dry, and people are suffering. Now, for you to balance, they call it balance of what? Regional balance. So that the poor can also be lifted up. Now, the power of religion has a role here. Religious institutions and their leaders must guide the country and the people on the culture of sharing. When you share what you have with me, I share what I have with you. If you have beans and for me I have charcoal, over maybe gas, this gas, we exchange. This is the economics. But the economics of depending on only money making, money, sente zange.
Take us back to barter trade.
Because money, Africa has these models. They go to capitalism and you remember those things. Absolutely. But look, capitalism is not binding to community transformation now. The rich become more richer. But if it has a combination of a spiritual realm of saying, let me also give corporate social responsibility. Then companies get meaning why they are in Uganda. But if the leader doesn't understand God, corporate social responsibility will be eaten, and the impact of the company on the population will never be there. Yes. That's why I call on, because this economy, most of the people controlling it and influencing it are Indians. They believe in Krishna, for example. They have Krishna, Lord Krishna. The Ugandans believe in Jesus, others Allah, others. It means countries whose population believe in a God, they have more chances to thrive. I don't know if you have heard about that. What you have right in your pocket doesn't belong to you. Because you can die tomorrow, it only holds meaning if you share. Because when you share resources, it means even if you have left the world, you have planted a seed to develop. It is growing and your children will feed on it. That's where the world of economics, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. I have several of these degrees, but the meaning of these degrees is not there unless I have
used them
to change
the world.
Now let me
It is useless to be a doctor without treating someone.
There are some stealing medicine now. As we speak now, I am even seeing you. Someone is running with boxes of medicine. Now, you are running with that medicine from Mulago, and someone is going to die. Now, in heaven, remember in heaven, God is going to be in front of you. And say, oh, Rabba, you stole medicine. 20 people died in Mulago. Go to hell.
And that's true.
Now, someone needs to have that consciousness and say, if I do this, this is the implication to God. So someone needs, because the world
there must be an element of religion to avoid the abuse of public goods. Look at how people drive on roads.
You look at them. Now, unfortunately, my brother, I will cry on this TV. I don't want to cry. I want to tell you, more religions, more conflict in Uganda. More religions, more stealing.
I wonder.
More religion, more fighting. Or radicalization.
Or we remove the religion.
About literally people go to church every Sunday, but they are on a smartphone. They are going for a show off. They are not going to worship. You people, the country needs a spiritual renewal.
Revival.
We need a revival. Over Muslims, Christians, the Christians, the interreligious council needs support so that we go across the country. But these people must also be helped. The money that is supposed to be for renewal, for campaign, these crusades, they go and buy, now they go and buy heavy cars, these trucks of 900 millions. When the flocks are having nothing to eat, that is the problem. Now we need a renewal. Yes, cabinet is there, parliament is there, but the public service system, but without spiritual renewal and consciousness and understanding that God is watching on us, we are tuzimba nyumba kumazi. We are building a house on top of water. It will sink.
A couple of days ago, people were celebrating the International Day Against Corruption. And I was wondering what kind of celebration this is. And now that you're talking about religion, and I think the budget was big, the head of state was called there, and many dignitaries, as normally it happens. What would be your comment about religion and corruption?
The two, if a country, look, some countries don't have religions, but they have economy. They have like
and they are not corrupt.
And they are not corrupt. What's wrong with these Africans? There is a problem with the Africans. I think if our grandparents woke up from these graves where we buried them, they will kill us, they will beat us, they will chase us from this continent. Because our parents were not like this. We are ashamed of ourselves. That your brother has 5 children, he lacks school fees for one, and you cannot support your own brother. I'm talking to these people.
Selfish people.
Oh my God.
Everything, you see, we have a problem in Uganda. There's a big devil in Uganda today that is called me.
Me.
Me. It is either me or me or me. People will steal for them. It is just everything is about them.
Even the toilet paper, they will steal it.
Me. So everyone else can suffer as long as me is okay.
The woman you have married tells you, "Get to obey, go and bring everything here." Can you imagine? The children also say, "You know, Daddy, the neighbors, their children are in this type of schools. Now they think going to a better school results in being a future president." Who told you that nonsense? All these heads of state will go to Museveni and tell you where he went.
Which way he went? The Kagames of this world.
These people didn't have shoes. I am here, I was a street kid. Look, I'm the president of global peace. You think it is a joke? 50 countries are in my hands with our colleagues, and we are leading peace globally. I was a street kid. I must inspire you that by doing the right thing,
it's the only way to win.
Because God is watching on us.
That's a good one.
And when God watches over you,
He always pays you.
He will leave you to the world to beat you on the street. But remain constant on integrity. Remain loving one another. Remain on making sure you have a smile on the face, because this face was not created to look like this. I am tired of people who beg all the time. God created you with a lot of wealth. The God of creation created us with abundance. Don't shame God. We have talents within us that can make us billionaires, but every day you are crying. Then you become the visible, because you have called it on yourself,
problem to people.
And God will not bless you. You are not sharing with the people.
And there's something I normally love to. I read about it, and I remember the late Dr. Miles Monroe.
Yes.
One of his sermons, he asked the congregation that, do you know the richest place in the world? And he comes out and he says, apparently I have learned over time that the richest place in the world is the cemetery.
Exactly.
In Uganda you would say Ebijja. Oba Amalaro. And he tried to explain, and he said, the reason is simple. In those places, there is 1 million unheard talents, unwritten books, unrecited poems, doctors who never became doctors, lawyers who never, the champions who never. And when I tried to meditate upon that sermon, I asked myself, and I looked at it and brought it back home here, and I asked myself, imagine if people like the Prince Joe Paul Cafe were still alive.
Exactly.
How many songs would they have removed? The radios of this world, the AK-47s. We have lost brilliant people as a country.
Very good people.
We recently just lost the deputy IGP.
The Badakawa of Private Sector Foundation.
Thank you. So, you don't want to go to the cemetery having used nothing of your potential. When Kambura talks about development and begging and frowning, you should maximize your lifetime to bring out the best in you to cause change, because it will be used. You can imagine burying you, and normally on your burial, when you're in your grave, all the opportunities surround your grave, and they are there crying. They're saying,
they bring you back. Why are you crying? I have done my work, I've been preaching. Now on that day, bring my book. I am actually writing a book. It's coming out very fast.
Another one.
Now, those are the things I want on that day. I want to be flying in heaven. When I'm seeing you reading my book, seeing the video of this
Joyce singing.
Joyce, how I am talking here is such a Chatugamba to very united.
Kambura here is a very, he has so much to share with us, but I just want to give Kambura an opportunity to wrap up our topic. As we did look at religious freedoms. Religious freedoms most recently have been abused.
Yes.
Between you and me. To the point that even government has attempted to regulate a freedom, which for me as a person with some legal background would attribute to be an abuse.
Exactly.
You can't regulate a freedom because
God give any
the
freedom.
beginning of it is that it is inherent.
Exactly.
It is not a gift of a state.
Yes.
How do you regulate that?
And because they had
these are being
disorganized.
abused. Now, what do we do to avoid this dangerous path
Yes.
of abuse of the freedom?
I think, you know, you are my best friend, and I thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you
and I
so
think
much.
this goes to Interreligious Council now. If I request that His Excellency, the President of the country, as fountain of honor, I think in the next budgets, subsequent budgets of the country, they should find a way of work, because it's public-private social partnership
Yes,
today.
yes, it's a
so they are social engineers, social actors that organize the country so that you are able to deepen your vision for the country. And the Interreligious Council of Uganda is particularly a signature organization
Indeed.
that can help the country organize the Interreligious Council, the interfaith leadership, to tighten and consolidate the peace. Absolutely. By bringing these bishops and sheikhs, the clergy members, all religions of Uganda, to now take the message, because they are ordained, they are sacred people. We call them holy men and women of God. And so people trust them. And if they trust them, then use these leaders.
They should be a part of the bigger picture of the country.
Exactly. So they should be able to be at the center of the democratization. And look, people don't want to go and vote. If a bishop stood on a TV and a radio and said, please go and vote.
People of Kampala Archdiocese on Monday morning,
they will go and vote.
I want you to go. Even says electoral commission, let's make the electoral centers in parishes.
Oh, you will see change.
I will be there.
Do you know that is where revolutionary, you know, I am looking at models. That's where I specified my.
But religious leaders now are scared of politics.
Now,
they say,
and it is the
politicians scaring them.
Exactly, and the security, they feel.
Why are you scaring the
Jesus did not fear the Canes. You man of God, wake up, go and speak to the nation. You sheikh. Why are you hiding when terrorists come here and you cannot come out and say these terrorists are misusing our religion because Islam is peace, but you find the sheikh is hiding in the carpet. Did Muhammad fear? In Medina he was preaching. He even gave his mosque to the Christians actually, yes, to use the mosque to pray.
No, but even here in as you go to Rubaga, Nkurukuku, and you go to Chitebi, there's a place where I think Mapera, one of the places where it was for a Muslim gentleman.
Can you imagine?
And I remember the late Cardinal Nsubuga.
Yes.
He actually gave the exchange. He built a mosque and they gave them
these
that
are
piece
stories
of
now. These are stories Ugandans must be celebrating this Christmas. This Christmas is not for you only Christians. Look, Muhammad handed over the mosque of Medina to the Christians to use it. It is time, cook food, take it to the Muslims, because most of the time, it is the Muslims who introduced me to Pirao when I was a kid in my village.
Absolutely.
We would go to the mosque.
And they give you Rusania.
We used to remove all our share and we eat. And you ask, are these children of Muslims? Now, if they can, look at the mosque, the poor are there eating food. But ours at the church, they will chase you. Have you seen beggars at the church? Beggars are at the mosque. They are eating food, even now. But ours, the doors are closed. During COVID, you have understood, ladies and gentlemen, that if you are alone, you die alone. So it is a time to break the barriers of religious indoctrination, misrepresentation, for radicalized and terror objectives. These religions don't belong to anybody else. They belong to God. We have now understood. Yes, we have formed them, now they belong to God. The God we are serving is calling us to unite. The values of peace are in Muslims. Powerful. They are in Christianity. So why do you hide yourself to walk with the Muslim man or woman? Why? He's a brother to you, he's a sister to you. Work together, build companies together. Don't isolate that Muslim. True. Don't isolate that Christian. It is time for us to build companies. Build them like this BMK man.
Oh, yes.
We lost BMK.
My very good was
But
a
you
good
go to his
mentor.
hotel, you find the Christians are there. He was my friend.
Yes.
He didn't ask me bring a passport of Islam. No, that nonsense he didn't.
No,
He supported all of us because Islam means peace.
And
Christianity means love, sharing. So enjoy in your religion.
Wow.
Unite in your
Wow,
religions.
wow,
Let
wow,
us build one family under God as a united Africa for peace.
There's no better way to crown up this day and of course our agenda than what, I don't know if I should call you apostle or prophet,
Everything.
man of God.
I'm not a son of Satan.
Yeah,
I am a
absolutely.
child of God the Creator.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Milton.
Amen.
That was powerful
Amen.
and definitely life-changing. But of course, we have there, that is Tapachi Godfrey Jr. from Mutundwe, says, thank you so much for the show. I appreciate Mr. Kambura's sensitization to Ugandans. It is a true message. He also adds, sir.
Oh,
So-
I am yet to become a son. Oh
Indeed.
my God. Thank you for baptizing
You'll
me
be
as
knighted
son.
very soon.
Amen.
And of course, from our very good friend, that is Church of Fred, also comes out to say that the religious freedoms and diversity in Uganda is too much, and that's why there's a lot of corruption in churches, because the rich and the poor are prayed for differently according to their contribution, which is also
That is not good. Even
we
the
have
front
seen
seats.
it, but we have seen it exactly, and we have abused a bit of our practices, but it is not too late. The child of God is going to be born just 4 days from today.
Amen,
We
amen.
pray that his birth comes with blessings to make us anew
Yes.
spiritually, to forgive us.
Exactly.
You know, his grace is like more than sufficient. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and he told me, but Felix, what do I do? I told him, but the grace of God is sufficient. And he's like, hey, but don't you think we are abusing the grace of God? And I told him, then you don't know that the grace is bigger than what you know. You know?
Exactly.
So
Such a
let us
Katonda.
let us tweyagalire mu
Ate Yesu talina basanga ng'ennyumba eri divided ekyo
Absolutely. Actually, that is a worse sin.
ekyo.
Blasphemy is when you place yourself in a position where your spirit is irreconcilable with the Spirit of God.
Yes.
And that is when you start hating and dividing people of God. Because remember, God said he created every one of us in his own image.
Yes, and
so
equal.
how about we keep on that in our ears? But we want to say thank you so much for keeping with us and being very good viewers and listeners. And for all you, our brothers and sisters who have been able to share feedback on our topics and being part of the show, we say thank you so much. Now, of course, it is that point where I want to take you into the world of sports. Ruben is here, but I want also Ruben to tell us which religion is Ruben. That man, and when he did us go to church, last time I was telling him that if he's not careful, he will wake up as the height of my brother, Uncle Bob. If he keeps on not going to church, God will punish him with the height reduction. But thank you so much for staying with us. And let's have Ruben coming up with the sports updates. Good morning.
Thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. It's the festive season and we love it. And that